tell us what area of the service you served in and your rank and...
Right now?
Yes, right now.
I was in the engineers. And went in as a private, came out as a T5.
Okay, and that was in, what were you, Army, Air Force?
Army engineer.
Army engineer.
What does a
Okay.
T5 mean?
No, actually, really, it's like a corporal technician. Actually, I was in the Air Force, Air Corps.
Oh, Air Corps.
Yeah, first. I worked out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base before I went to service.
Okay, and then you went into...
And then I went to service, then they called me back to do the same job there that I was doing before. Then they didn't need me anymore. So I went in the engineers. I took training down in Fort Claiborne, Indiana, Louisiana. See, you got me all mixed up.
Yeah, well, I do that to people.
And then I took my training and then went overseas. Went up to North Africa first and then went on up into India, Burma, China.
Well, you served in areas we haven't interviewed. So tell us a little bit about what you did on a daily basis in those countries.
Best I could. That's a long time to remember. I mean, what do you want, like what I've seen when I was there?
That too, yeah.
Well, should I start from when I got aboard ship?
That'd be good. That would be good. What you remember.
Aboard ship, it wasn't. It was a little old Liberty ship. I mean, a small job and get bombed and up and down by it. And you roll in there like sardines, you know. I mean, it got hot down in the bottom there, and going across. Didn't see no action except way in the distance. Of course, we was on a convoy, and way on the outer edge of the convoy, why you see the explosions. It got some action out there, but I mean, we were right in the middle of it then. So we got over there, and then
So what was the purpose of the ship you were on? What did it do?
was taking us over there.
Just taking you over there, okay.
So I probably forget a lot.
That's okay, just some of the things that stand out.
I mean, I remember that, and, you know, how they kept it dark at night. You know, you had a curtain here, and you open this curtain, and you shut it, and then you open this, and first you vice when you get back in. And I don't know, we got over there, and so it got pretty rough at times, you know. I didn't get seasick, but I got a lot of headaches. Headaches. A lot of guys got seasick, they couldn't eat. Not the first time I've ever seen cherry ice creams. And those guys got sick, I got their cherry ice cream. I mean, you know, it's just something I remember.
Sure.
And I remember you had a tray full of stuff and you went to find a place to eat. Well, you know, as you went to find a place to eat, and the boat was going up and down and swaying back and forth. Well, I don't know, there was some naval officer there on that ship that I not had on his, you know what, because, I mean, I lost my balance, slid right into him.
Yeah.
And, well, I thought I was going to get it, you know. I was just a young kid. You
How old
know,
were you?
19.
You were 19 and you were drafted, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, anyhow, we got over there and ended in North Africa. Oran, Africa, we went into and got in there, and you getting off of the boat, and man, you hear these guns going off, boom, 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 and this, man, what the heck, boy, we're here, you know, already. And what it was is they was pulling targets behind aircraft, and they were practicing in the harbor there where we were. That's what it was, you know.
So nobody cared to tell you guys.
No, it wouldn't be good, you know. And then we went on up in Oran, I think, Oran, Africa, and I went up, I don't know, I can't remember the names and stuff like that.
That's okay. Just the things that you remember.
It's comical, it's a lot of stuff. But we got up in Oran, Africa, and we set out and we sat there. And of course, we had air raids coming. We never got bombed there, but we had warnings. And stood guard, and we standing guard on a big pile of something. We don't ever know what it was. And come to find out, it was coffins.
Oh, gee.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, it had it all tarped up, and we knew what it was, and I never paid much attention. I was sitting up there taking it easy, guard, and looking around, you know, coffins, because those Arabs over there steal anything that you get.
Anything that's American, they want it, didn't they?
So,
Yeah,
Then,
that's a good idea now.
we had other places to guard. I don't know what this other
Yeah.
place, what we were guarding there, I don't know what it was. But you had a little place out there, and you had double bunk built in a little shack, just enough for the bunks, and
that's okay.
one bed and top bed.
I have an hour.
And 3 guys stand guard for
So I can come
24 hours
in
in our shift.
Yeah.
And
Well, I could get off.
stand guard there, and that's all you do is just read, or if you had something to read, or what, you know. And,
I could probably take one at
and
4,
They had,
if he's still around.
at the camp, they had these Arabs collecting the garbage, getting rid of the garbage.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they'd have a little old mule or donkey or whatever, and they would have
That's a lot of better work.
big bear hog. I guess it was about this big, big around with this table,
Okay.
yeah, about that tall.
Okay.
And
that's all right.
they would you'd smuggle stuff out of the camp there, you see. So you more or less had to stir it up, and make sure they weren't stealing any cars.
Sure.
But and then
Okay.
one time the officer tried to sneak up on me. I wasn't in the system at that time. There was a couple other 3 guys were there, and one of the officers trying to sneak up on him, see how sharp he was under his guard, you know. And he tried to sneak up, and he hollered, "Stop, stop!" Goes there, didn't say nothing. Stop, who goes back? Didn't say nothing. He put a couple shots over the head. He drove up in a Jeep, put a couple shots over the head. Said, "Lieutenant, Lieutenant, Lieutenant, Lieutenant!" And
Not do that again.
and they shot some goats. I mean, they didn't stop. You stop, who goes there? They keep on coming.
Yeah, well, that's
I
what
mean,
they're,
you don't
that's
know
what
what
you're
you
supposed to be
you
doing.
know what you do.
Yeah.
And we had a big water tower out the center of the compound there. And then Arabs would come up there and steal our water. I don't understand why. We had to guard that doggone thing. And can you imagine guarding something around? Here you go, you're walking around here, well, hey, right over here, steal. You know, I mean, it didn't make sense to me, but still don't. But I mean, that's what we did. And I remember when we did this guard duty out in them little shacks out there, where we always go into town to get our canteen full of wine. 2 cents for good wine. It was good wine. And a lot of, and I do remember they had a well there where they got water. A great big well. And these women come up there and get water, put it on their heads, and you know, walk off. I mean, that was something to see too. You know, I've never seen it. I've seen pictures, but never seen it. But we was there, and I don't know what we were doing there. And there was some French soldiers there, and they backed up into a little girl against this cement wall with a truck, and hurt her legs. And didn't, I mean, she was an Arabian girl, but I mean, what the heck? And they didn't do a damn thing. We got our people to come and get that little girl. But
That was part of war, and you
Well,
saw a lot of the bad.
yeah, then we left there, and then we went into India on ship. Went down through the Suez Canal, and on the way through, not the canal, I don't know whether it was part of the canal. You could see a lot of ships that were sunk into the war in there. A lot of the ships were sunk. And looked up here, and it's right at the beginning of the Suez Canal. What is that town there? you know,
Yeah.
anyhow, big sign up for Johnny Walker. You know, I mean, on the building, you know, like you see here.
Yeah.
And I know when we went through the Suez Canal, you know, and somewhere in there was Sicily, around Sicily, before we got the Suez Canal. The Germans were over in aircraft, but before you knew it, there's a couple bullfighters of the British come out and chased them away.
Oh.
And then he come around, flew around, and we looked down on the deck, and they waved up like how fast, you know. And, I don't know. Another thing was, you go in that Suez Canal, and it ain't straight.
Mm.
It's bends.
Uh-huh.
And
So
you look over here, and you see these big, what do you call them?
You talking about the locks or
No,
the mountains?
Pyramids.
Pyramids.
You
Yeah.
could see those from there.
See about 3 of them, I think.
Wow.
And
That was an
what did you know?
experience.
Huh?
That was an experience.
Yeah, but I mean, you in there, you just don't. You don't even realize you own a boat because it's going so slow and all that. Look over there, and it looks like you're floating on sand. You know, I mean, it's weird. Then we headed up into India, and got up into India, and now that's a poor country. I'm telling you, it's something else. Real narrow gauge railroads, narrower than ours.
Yeah.
But then went through India, went through these towns and all this, and beggars and people. I mean, and some of those towns in there by. Well, the same thing in China. You see them being born and dying on the street. I mean,
Just so many people.
hmm?
Just so many people crammed in together.
Yeah. And believe me, the sacred cow at that time was sacred over there. I mean, it was sacred. I mean, they'd walk in their houses and do whatever it wants to do and walk out. And you didn't want to mess with them.
Yeah.
You know, you get out of here, slap it or something. They didn't like it too well. And as we go on up on the train from Bombay, I think it was, Bombay. Went up through Bombay, on up, and I had it on my mind what I was going to say, and you got me excited. But then when we'd eat on the train, they would stop the train. And then, you know, they cook on the train, but when they stop, and then you get your mess kit, and you go back to that train, and you get your food, and then you find a place to eat. Well, the first place we found was in a town, but I mean, you had to fight to keep your food because the day-going crows would come down there and take it right out of your mess kit. You got a coffee here, and you got your mess kit full of food here, and he'd jump right
Oh
up
my
and pick that food up, so you had to go like this.
Oh, friends.
I mean, it's funny,
Yeah.
but it's the truth. And the country is way back 100,000 years, I think, you know, the people and all that.
Yeah.
And then we get on out of, and then, like I said, it was a narrow gauge over there from what we got. Then we got up at the narrow gauge. And I think that was the Salaween River, don't quote me. Well, and then it changed to a different gauge, smaller gauge. So then they run these trains on a barge, and after they reloaded them on this narrow gauge, then they take it across the barge over to the other side.
Okay.
Well, while we weren't doing that, we were just standing around doing nothing. And we was walking down, this is the Ganges River,
Okay.
definitely the Ganges River.
Okay.
And the Salaween River is just in China.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, they worship this river because I've seen it for a fact. And I've seen, we walking around, you know, and we've seen these big birds, I guess vultures, eating something over there. And when we got over, it looked like a little 13-year-old girl. So that's when we turned around and came back.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
but I mean, they're on it. You can't hardly believe it. And we go on up farther, and And the trains, narrow gauge, and the American GIs was running a lot of those trains. But they were throttle happy and they lost a lot of
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, flipped over.
Yeah. Because you said the tracks were real narrow
Yeah,
compared to ours.
oh yeah. I don't imagine this much wider now.
Wow, that is.
Oh, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
They would flip.
But get on up into there and went on up into what I went up to through a lot of towns and stuff like that. And they were all way back when. And always begging, they always got people begging. Moxie, Sahib, no mama, no sister, no per diem. If you know what per diem is. Well, yeah, you know what per diem is. That's what they say. They get that from the record.
Yeah.
No mama, no papa, no sister, no brothers, no box to see. You want to? I remember that. That's all you'd hear.
Hearing them begging from you.
Yeah. And get on that up into Assam, up in Burma, Assam. And that's where we had a camp. We built a camp up there. Called it Lake Apani. And Pani is water in Indian, that what it was, Lake Apani. That's what we called it. And we worked out from there. And that was right at the end of the beginning of the Burma Road.
Oh,
And
okay.
later called the Stillwell Road. But I don't have much faith for Stillwell.
Yeah.
That's still the Burma Road.
Sure.
But I worked there and did a lot of trucking and pipe laying, building tanks, storage tanks for gasoline. Well, all up in through there.
Could you still hear the battle going on? in some
Well,
parts?
now and then we hear a song. They come over our mess kit at times. The Japanese come over, but they seem to they didn't bother us. They just fly over.
Yeah.
See what you were doing?
I don't know. Anyhow, but on up farther, we work out in on the road. He's up in there looking at me, and I did see 2 American airplanes down zero. He was working on a bridge up there, one of them bridges up there, and you heard it, and you don't know what's going on. You look up there, and while the zero's going down, this 47 was going down, but the other was gaining up. Well, they were a lot faster than the zero. The zero could climb a lot faster, but then this was up there waiting on him, so he did
Oh, okay.
about 2 or 3 times he went on down. We didn't see it, but
You could
there
hear.
it was gone. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't there. Then they flew off, but and then I went on up in. After that, we got pretty close to where we're going up into China. That's a Yunnan, China. I think that's on the Yoho River. I don't remember what the name of the river was anyhow. Just across the border. Well, we flew up over there across the border, over into China. Flying the hump, that's what they call it. Because that was the Himalayan mountains we flew over,
Ooh, mercy, yeah.
And we was receiving stuff over there, equipment, and mention this, we take our trucks and cut them in half, and with a welding torch, cut them in half, because you couldn't get the whole one in the airplane. Put them in, you couldn't get it bent around, but you get them in there, and then when you got over there, take them out and weld them back together and use them.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So, and then that was a Unani, just Unani. It's the Yunnan province, and Unani is over there, over in there, and it was nice. And, well, we did get bombed there, and but what saved our cans was the Black Widow. airplanes,
Oh.
P-61.
Oh, okay.
And Toki Rose named us over as we came over. You boys are lucky. And she says, you boys also better have your Thanksgiving Day early because we're going to come over that night. Well, by golly, they did. And we had our dinner early, too. Because, I mean, this just... So anyhow, we run ahead and all this, that, and the other. And those people have no respect for life over there. I mean,
Yeah.
just, the Chinese are just, I don't know, as bad as any of the It's so when we went up there, or when we went into Slit Trench, we had a long thing running there, and they had like, you know, bamboo, I guess, woven bamboo, you know, like to make mats out of or
Mats,
whatever.
yeah, the mats, yeah.
In this thing, well, I jumps in there, you know, and they was bombing. I was up on the hillside, and they were bombing down here on the water, and oh, scared to death.
Well, yeah, because you hear that always.
And so got out of there, you know, and wondered what was in there. And there was a dead body in there. They just got, somebody died or whatever, and they just put him in the thing, and there it was. They was a nice hole, put him in, so they put him in there. That was an experience too.
Yeah.
You know, kid 19 years old.
But see, if they don't value life the way we do, that doesn't mean anything to them.
Well, they don't. They really don't. I mean, and so what they, well, actually, they followed a Goonie bird in, and it had one section of the field as close to us was the fighter section, and the other parts was some revetments and this and the other. But they followed this Goonie bird in. And I guess the radar didn't catch a hold of them, and then the Goonie bird landed, and then they dropped the bombs right along the fighter section.
Took them all out.
Huh?
Took them all out, all the fires.
Well, no, they didn't do too much. There was more or less personnel bombs. There was little bombs about that big. To me, a heck of a noise.
Yeah.
About that big around, about that long, and looked like a sea ration cans for fins on it. You know,
That
it's just-
makes, yeah.
and they come in clusters. They drop them out and then they cluster out, and they go all down the runway, you know.
But they weren't made to do major destruction?
Yeah, well, they would. Yeah, they would go right through the roof,
Oh, okay.
and then boom, you know.
Oh, okay.
But then a lot of them didn't go off. See, you know, well, nobody got hurt, but a lot of them picked them things up, and I wouldn't. But then they pick them up, and we look at them, and they take them apart,
Yeah.
and it,
A live bomb they would just take apart?
yeah. And then there's stuff in there that just looked like hard cement clay or something, and they scrape it with a knife. But nobody got hurt from them, but they got away from them too. They got taken away from them.
Oh.
But yeah, and while I was there too, I mean, that's the first time I've seen a B-29. But see, the warning on there, all they had was big red balls. I guess those balls were about that big around.
Okay.
One ball, there's a warning. Two balls, they were half hour away or 15 minutes away, and three balls that were overhead. Well, we never did see the one ball. We always see three balls. But anyhow, that's the first time I see a B-29. Well, you know, we had the warning, so we ran out and we're running this revetment here, and you know, we looked up there, and here comes this big ass airplane. I mean, big. You know, I've seen a lot of other airplanes, but I've never seen that big. That was a big airplane at that time.
Yeah.
And come to find out it was ours.
Oh.
That
Of
made
course,
you
that was
feel-
a good thing.
That made you feel good too. But Tokyo says we're going to come over tonight and see you and this and that and the other. Well, she don't always get over there, but you always get back. She said, well, they dropped the bombs in another base before they got to us. Somewhere around where it was. But then I left UNNE and went up into I always thought it was Poshan, but it was Boshan. Boshan, China. And that's where I was with the 14th Air Force. And the 14th Air Force was originally the Flying Tigers. I think everybody's heard about the Flying Tigers.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, well, there the experiences was this valley here, and there's hillsides here, and rocks and the river here, and there always we was camped in a graveyard, a Chinese graveyard, and they don't bury their people. They build them up high, and they build a thing up over it, like this. And there's where we camped, right next to that place. And well, I mean, it wasn't so bad. That it was, I guess it was ancient anyhow. But they still buried people there, because when we there daytime and doggone it, here come this big bunch of people, and they'd be carrying these people caskets, 2 poles, one on each shoulder, you know, and up here they have a chicken on it, a rooster or something like that. That was a man, and I forget what they had for the woman, but I don't think they give the woman anything. I think as far as I remember, as far as I remember,
Yeah.
it was a man if they had the chickens there. So you could tell who was getting buried there. And they take it on up in the valley from where we were, but they had to come past our thing to get up in there. But we were in part of the graveyard too. And well, you know how it is. The land is tiered like this, and
Yeah,
this, and
right,
like this,
yeah.
and then this tier down here was the graveyard, and up here, and that was just maybe a stone throw from here, from my tent to the doors to where it went down to another grave down there. And this stand guard one night, and boy, something, what the heck was that, you know? There was a bat come out on them graves, and went over my shoulder, like, you know, I mean, like to scare you,
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yes.
Particularly when you're standing guard.
you know, and
Anything at night.
so then we was there, and the old first sergeant there, he had a little old puppy, and he missed that little puppy. He wasn't around anywhere. Well, we did some trading for different stuff and got one of them a little revolver pistol. Was going up and gonna test it out to shoot it. Well, they never did shoot right, and we get them through the shoot straight and then sell it back to them for a good price. If you shoot them, could tell them you could get the gun shooting right. Went back up there, and these guys were eating stuff, you know. And the Chinese were sitting around there eating stuff and having a fire up there. We didn't think much about it, but there was that little skin of that dog sitting there. They had that dog. They were eating that dog.
No.
So,
You didn't tell the sergeant, did you?
Huh?
You didn't tell the sergeant, did you?
yeah, we told the sergeant what could he do. I mean, hell, you know, and then they were working on the runway somewhere. I don't know whether it was Boshan or not. But by Boshan, I do remember we was way up on a hill up here, and then the runway was way down here, and you could sit up here at this place where they had where we could play ping pong and stuff like that on the porch here and watch. I was watching one time, and your airplane started taking off, you know, and all of a sudden it just quit, and then the lights went off of it and everything. What's the matter? You know, was down there. And on the runway down there, it was a dam, because there was a little river or creek down through there. And run down there, and it had a crash. So we said, run down there and seen it. And this airplane, if he had the gear up, he would have made it, maybe. But what happened, he left the control locks on. The control locks on the aircraft is external. And you're supposed to take them off before you fly. It didn't take them off, and it didn't get off enough for the gear to hit. So it went down across this creek and sat like that, and gas was running out of it. And I think one guy got hurt. He got a broken hip or a leg or something like that because he was standing up in the airplane. The other guys didn't get hurt. The aircraft didn't start on fire, but the gas was leaking out of it on this creek. And you see these bunch of Chinese, I don't know where to get all this stuff to get that stuff in, but everything they could get, they were getting that gas as it come out of the airplane. Well, and then I was looking around, and they had lights and fire. Well, they told them to keep away with the fire. And I don't know what a guy was doing there with a pelican. A pelican, yeah. They fish with pelicans over there.
Oh, okay.
He was there. I get it out, I guess. But whatever. So that was one experience. Then another one was seeing a P-38, P-38 Lightning take off. I think he had engine trouble. He come down and landed with the gear up, and I'm telling you, it looked comical because the guy got out of that airplane and he running down that wing, and I'm telling you, his knees were hitting his chin. I mean, but he was really moving it out. And then it burned. It did burn, and it burnt the asphalt in the driveway or the runway, and they were out there picking parts of that airplane out with picks, get the metal out of the runway. And then, well, I don't know. God, I'm telling you a bunch of stuff that I even forgot about,
Forgot you knew, huh?
Yeah. And,
How long were you over there?
Well, 2 years.
About 2 years.
Yeah. And when we was going to Kunming. No, when we was down in Yunnan, the guys were driving trucks. And the Chinese, anybody, they would stop them and take whatever they had. And this one person was a Chinese something in the Better Army over there. You had the communists and you had the nationalists, and he was in the communists, and he was up to do up there, up in Kunming somewhere. And so these guys would drive back and forth. And I didn't do that much of driving, but they'd drive stuff up to Kunming and down here and there. And finally we moved up in there. Well, when we moved up in there, these guys took a lot of stuff that the Americans would give the flour and sugar and stuff. I mean, they got it from somewhere. But if the Chinese nationalists would see that, or they'd chop them and they'd take it. Now this is the army within 2 armies in the same country, and so they wouldn't bother the Americans if they go up there, so they'd take it in their trucks and run it up there and get, I guess it was smuggled, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's another thing. But when we did get up there in Kunming, and we met this guy up there, he knew he was coming. We went up there and we got up there and talked to him. He invited us over to the house. You gotta have tea. I don't care what you do. You gotta have tea. If you don't take tea,
They don't accept you.
no, well, that's the thing you gotta do. And so we had tea, and then she come out and his wife says, "Here's some cookies that she baked with the flour and the sugar and that stuff that was sent up there." And she needed some lessons.
Yes, she did.
But they were good, you had to tell her they were good. But I don't know. I had this one place where we had, they hit what the heck they call it? That give you stuff like
Your rations?
guitar, guitar and ping pong balls and all that stuff.
Recreation area.
Recreation, whatever it is. They would give, huh?
The PX?
The PX?
No, it wasn't the PX. It's the regular I don't know what it was, but anyhow, they give us some stuff, and just going back and forth and not all at the same place or beyond, but just things I just happen to remember now. But it's funny, and this was after the war that we got this stuff.
Oh, okay.
We're waiting to go home.
Oh, okay.
But this one guy, he was a company barber, and he was a character. But anyhow, he got a violin to this, I can't think of the name of it, but he got a violin. And he'd go around playing that violin at night. And I mean late at night. Well, he couldn't play. No. They called him Foot. And gosh, he was something else. But they finally had to take it away from him. and then he I think he was a little shell-shocked. But they put up with him anyhow. But anyhow, he had a big sign, and he ran in front of the basha where the officers basha unfair to us guys because he did this and that and the other. And then, well, one place up in Burma, I remember had an episode with a tiger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it or anything like that, but it was right on the border, and a little girl or guy got mauled by a tiger right where they bordered the gates and on the border, right down there that one night. Well, we never did see it. But after the war, we were waiting to come home. I remember we could go out and go hunt. And we'd take our rifles and get on a big old truck, GMC truck, and they'd be driving, a couple guys up on top in the back right along. And we stopped, seen a bunch of monkeys go across the road and up into Burma. And so they was going to get away, so I was shooting in front of them and making them go back and then back and forth. We never got a damn one of them. But I did shoot a old black cat. But we come down the road and he was on the road and shot him, and he went on down over the hillside, and you could hear it thrashing down in there, thrashing around. And I wanted to, I'm in the jungle, I'm not going to get down in there and let it go. This was after the war. We didn't have too much to do after the war other than just wait. We did do a lot of burying stuff. I mean, a lot of equipment, they just bury it in the ground, just dig a hole and bury it.
They're probably still finding it over there.
Yeah. I imagine those people got it all dug up, and if they know, you'll find one while they keep on going. And, I don't know, but then, toward the last one, we was up in Ocean. I watched the flying tigers. They do a lot of, flying up in there. And that one night, I seen a guy come in late at night with a P-40. And well, they had a truck here and a truck here shining lights, and he landed that thing right in there. That's all he had. And they seen one take off, and as soon as he took off, the tire blew off of it.
Wow. So you knew.
Well, I didn't. I never did see that come back. I couldn't stay. I couldn't do something or whatever. I was doing something, but I seen this happen. But then we used what's this powder thing? And you put it in water. It gives you gas. Carbide. We had a lot of carbide if we work at night. Carbide lights, good big carbide lights. We had this tent in there, and some of us Chinese were messing around in there, and it started a fire, and we had to get them guys out of there. And while it was still burning, they'd been better off. A lot of them didn't make it. But grab a hold of that guy, pull him out, skin come off his arms, But that's some of bad stuff, And we had a couple guys, died of different things, diseases. I mean, when we was aboard ship, they give you a bottle and say, look at that, shake it. It says, that's all the diseases they're going to put you into over here. So do this, do that, do that. Well, I was yelling when I come back home from eating aberry, you know, from malaria.
Right.
A lot of guys did get malaria.
Mm.
And, we had, I mean, the cemeteries up there, you know, they buried a couple of guys up there. Beautiful. That's just up in Burma, right out in the middle of nowhere. Seemed like to me.
Right.
A beautiful, well-kept cemetery, American cemetery, flag, everything there. And buried these guys up there in that cemetery. Beautiful cemetery, but I just wonder if they bring any more home or not. If they ever find them.
Yeah, you wonder.
I don't know. Yeah.
So you were with, of course, you were with about the same men most of the time, weren't you? I mean, your group.
Well, no, our group split up different
Groups
ways,
split
different
up?
places, yeah.
Okay. But was there a core group that you bonded with, that you stayed with most of the time, and you kept in touch with them over the years?
No,
No.
I have never seen them. A lot of them, well, when you say they gone glad to get out, that's it.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
I remember coming back, and I went all the way around the world.
I know. That's what is amazing.
You know, I mean, no, literally. I mean,
Mhm.
I started at Newport News and ended up in Seattle, Washington.
That's a tripping.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Well, when we left India
Mm-hmm.
and it went around this way and went through, what is it down there, just China Sea.
Mhm.
You're in there, you can see a bunch of ships and all this and that and the other that did went on around. Came on around. I don't know what I forget I lost, but I mean you go across the interstate line, you know, and all this stuff. You have all the stuff on board ship that they have, you know.
Sure. To make the transition.
Well, yeah, I had KP 2 days in a row, but I did. I mean, I was.
You lost a day, huh? Hey, it's still
No,
Tuesday. You're still
no, I
on.
was supposed to get the extra day that I didn't get. I mean, you know, it was the same day, and then next day was the same
Same
day.
day.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
but and then what I meant is like you get the old King Neptune and the thing that you grease the guy's belly and you got to kiss him and all that stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
you crossed the.
Cross
I know what
interstate
you're
line,
talking
interstate-
about.
international
Okay,
date
I know
line,
what you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And for stuff like that. But, then came back and we were supposed to hit San Francisco. Well, there was a big storm down that way, so we hit Seattle, Washington.
A little bit away.
And every time you stop at a different place, you know, the bands or whatever there were always playing the Sentimental Journey all along. And as we came in to Seattle, Washington, they had this boat, had flat top on there, and had the music going, had these little girls out in short tights and all that, just dance on there, Sentimental Journey. I think the ship listed that much on the side there. Everybody was on that side of the ship coming into Seattle, Washington. We came into Seattle, Washington, and we got into camp in there, and then we had our supper, the first decent supper we had, and milk.
Oh.
But that
And,
tasted good.
and German prisoners was working there, and we was talking to them, you know, and all that. They wanted to stay in America. I don't know whether they did, but they wanted to, and they were working. Heck, they'd give you anything you wanted. More milk, more milk. I don't know whether they were giving us more milk because they were trying to be nice, but they used about 35 rolls of toilet paper that night from drinking that milk. I'm telling you, man, it worked on you.
Oh, yeah.
And so whether they were being nice, I imagine they were, really.
But you did wonder.
Yeah, I did wonder. And then we came on in, and I had a layover at Terre Haute on the train. Well, first we left Seattle, Washington, and then we got into snowdrift. We couldn't move it. In a little town, there was a cool school teacher's college.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a little town, and that hell it wasn't as big as Waynesville, I don't believe. Of course, I didn't see it all, but
Yeah.
because at this one end of that street, you couldn't walk. They'd want to drive you. They want to shine your shoes. They give you this. They give you that. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
so we spent overnight there. And they said, when we get ready to go, when they get the snow cleared out, they're going to give 2 blasts on the train horn, and then 3, and you better come. And I know we left about 2 or 3 guys there. So, and then they come into Terre Haute, Indiana. And we had a layover there or something. I don't know what it was anyhow. We had to switch trains and what. But it's possibly what they had to do anyhow, or they had a layover. We got off the train anyhow. You went into this restaurant, and we got, I don't know, shrimp cocktails. I don't know what of them. We really eating it up nice.
Yeah.
And that waitress only charged us for a cup of coffee.
That was nice. That was nice.
Then we came on home, and then when I got home, by the time you couldn't get the mail or get any news back and forth,
Yeah.
because there was a dead spot there.
Right.
My wife moved, my mom moved, my sister moved. But I knew where my mom lives. She moved to West Alexandria.
Yeah,
But then my wife, well, I knew her before I went. We were going to get married when they got back. Well, they moved. And I got on there, but luckily they had the same phone number. And I called on the phone number, and they told me where to meet her sister. And then we went over there and met her. Yeah.
So you and her corresponded all during the service?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's neat.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like your time in the service benefited your future?
Well, yeah, because my dad left when I was about 7. I can just barely remember my dad. 7 years old. And then I was married with 3 sisters and grandma and my mom. And I mean, I got it right away.
Yeah.
I mean, it grew up quick and whatever.
Grew up quick.
I found out what the world was about.
You sure did, because you got to see a lot of it.
But they got home and got married. Lived happily ever after.
That's great.
So, I mean, that's it. Now, maybe I said too much. Talked too
No,
much.
you were fine. It was a beautiful story. We want to hear what went on. Okay, so you feel as though the time the service benefited you. Was there anything about your time in service that you felt as though was a detriment to you? It was all positive.
No, I probably was pretty naive. You know, being raised up with women, and I learned a lot. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it again. And I wouldn't give it up for what I did.
Right.
But I know I didn't give a sacrifice on a lot of stuff.
Well.
The only thing I got hurt blank leg was I stepped on a rusty nail. Stepped on a rusty nail, went into the medics, and you know what he did? Right in the arch of my foot, right in the arch of my foot. He stuck a hypodermic needle of iodine right in that hole.
Oh.
And then he went along the side into it. And
Man.
I remember that.
Did you punch him?
I always remember that. I always remember, we get the shots every so often.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this one guy, he passed out before he did a shot. He just, then they jam it to him and that's it. Every time. Well, this one time he made it through. And you never heard the end of it.
Talked about it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Any closing remarks for those who may hear this in the future?
Well,
Young people?
I just hope they don't have to do it again. I know I didn't get through the worst of it. I mean, I was lucky. And some of them worked, some of them come back bad. Some hospital ships too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Well, Joe, we thank you.
I just tell you, you know,
And I'm glad your experiences were positive, except for some of the things that you saw, of course, but.
oh
But there's always the behind the scenes people supporting things are very important.
you, there's a lot of things I forget. Yeah, a lot of things I want to forget.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. Just making sure your picture turned out fine. And